What's going on, everyone? Ollelito back here with a brand new tutorial on the channel. I know you guys been begging for this kind of tutorial. I know a lot of you guys been saying, Olle, how do you build up? I want to build up like Pep Guardiola, you know, pass. But on this game, it's pretty hard. So in this video, I will show you guys how I build up and how I'm thinking in every attack that I get to basically get to the opponent's half of the pitch, trying to find the corner flag, then try to play it back and then create chances from there. So in today's video, I will be showing you guys, as I said, how you build up, not like Pep Guardiola, but yeah, like a pro basically. So yeah, let's just jump into today's video. So before we jump into kind of the tutorial where I show you guys how to properly build up, you need to do this kind of thing first, because without this kind of player, you won't be able to build up properly. So the thing you want to do, especially when you play a 4-3-2-1 formations and tactics, you basically want to have a player that has long ball plus. And if you missed the custom tactics video and instructions, I'm going to put it like up here somewhere, so you will be able to check it out. Check that video out first before you go into this one, because you will understand how you properly play with the 4-3-2-1, and in this video I will show you how to build up properly. So you need to use, first of all, a player that has the long ball plus play style. Doesn't need to be in gold, but helps a lot by having like great passing stats. So my player that's going to play the center midfielder is going to be Kevin De Bruyne. Basically, because he has incisive pass, he has play style plus in pinged pass, which makes his R1 passes unbelievable. He also has long ball pass and also whipped pass. So he basically has 4 play styles and only missing the tiki-taka one, but it's totally fine in terms of the passing play style that you can have. So he's a great passing player. Obviously, these kind of cards are great, but I would advise you guys to basically have a guy that has at least the long ball plus, and preferably the long ball plus play style. For example, like Bruno Fernandes. So you see here has the long ball plus play style. I've showed it in the last tactics video as well. You can use Joshua Kimmich live card as well. It's great. Patrick Guyarro from Barcelona is great. So try to find a CM in the middle that's going to play the center midfielder that has long ball plus play style. Second of all, you need to either have your right back or your left back on balanced attack for them to push up higher. Me personally, I play with both fullbacks on balance. You can do that as well, but be prepared for counter attacks against you, because a lot of people that are good at the game, they will understand that you go forward with both fullbacks, leaving a gap in behind your defense basically. So yeah, either play with one or play with two. That's your personal decision yourself. Okay, so we're starting from my own half, and the most important thing on this game, how you want to build up in this game, is obviously combining with the play lock, which I will do a tutorial about as well. But in this video, I will show you guys, as I said, how I build up. So you see me defending, I'm in the black kit. We play versus a great Portuguese player that's called Rasta Arthur, one of the best Portuguese players ever. You gotta realize, first of all, that I sent Putellas by pressing L1 and X, sending her on a run in behind. You see here, when I play a few quick passes, I play Bellingham. You see that Putellas is running in behind, and if he wasn't able here to switch to his, I think it's Mukiele that is choosing now, I would just do L1 triangle with Bellingham in behind, and Putellas is maybe one-on-one with the keeper. So it's very, very important to learn the skill of pressing L1 and pass, or just press L1 towards a player that you want to run. So if you, for example, if I were to press L1 towards Kylian Mbappé here, not really passing it, just pressing L1 and aiming the left stick towards him, he will make a run straight in behind. So as you see here, I recognize, okay, I can't play Putellas in behind because he's reading it with Mukiele. So the thing I do, I use my L1 button, and you see Mbappé is pointing like this as he's running in a straight line going forward, and I automatically have a threat of going forward, and he needs to cover Kylian Mbappé. So it's all about sending players to be able to gain space for yourself, but also, you know, ask a question for the opponent. Okay, are you going to read this pass? If you read this, I'm going to use my fullback, for example, and you will see what's happening in this attack. Okay, I send Mbappé with the L1 button, right? So I play Kylian Mbappé in space. Perfect touch from Kylian Mbappé, taking the touch forward, as you see at the top right there with my controller. This is perfect. Here, I send Johan Cruyff on a play lock run. So I want this pass to be an X pass, because I want it, I actually did triangle when I checked, but I want this to be on his feet. And here again, you see, Rodri is making a run, and that's basically because I pressed L1 towards Rodri very, very early, so he's making that threatening run in behind. And just look at Rodri now, he's pointing his arm like this, which means he's running straight in behind. So here again, I buy space for myself. I have Rodri running, I have Kylian Mbappé running, I can even find Haaland, or I can switch it to Putellas or Theo Hernandez. So I basically have 4 options here. And you know, on FIFA, you can only cover one run at a time, basically, because you can only control one player. So the thing I do, I have multiple threats here. He is switching to Bissek, but I still have Rodri running in behind, and I want to choose Rodri. And in this case, when you have this kind of open pass, on a normal game, on a good game, I should be able to put this on the ground in between Rolf and Bissek, but I know for a fact on this game, that won't work. So I'm just doing an L1 triangle pass into Rodri in space. And here I have so much space, and that's basically because I play my right back on balance and trying to use the wings as much as I can. So Rodri here, finding the back post to Putellas, takes a touch forward, is a finish far post, and we score to make it 1-0. And that's basically the first example I will try to give you on this game. Use your fullbacks as much as you can in attack. So starting from our goal kick, you need to do this kind of pattern all the time. Okay, so I'm playing it short to Van Dijk, but you see, top right, you saw there, pressing L1 towards Theo Hernandez. I want him to make a threatening run in behind, so my opponent needs to basically cover that run. So the thing I do, I sent to Hernandez, I found Fernandez, and I know for a fact here, if I'm able to find my De Bruyne in between his strikers here, which is Arne and Mbappe, I can wait for Theo to just make a run in behind. If he reads it, I'm able to play through the midfield and then trying to go maybe down the right hand side towards my Rodri. So the thing I do, I play De Bruyne in behind. I'm just waiting for Theo to run here. And you see how early at the top right, the controller is on top of him at the moment, as you see there at the top right. But you see how early he's switching to Mukiele, because he understands, okay, if I'm not reading this, my Theo will be in behind and I have a great chance of scoring. Because the L1 triangle, I will show you in some other clips how good and accurate that pass really is. And that's why that playstyle is probably the best on the game. So I realized, okay, he is switching to Mukiele, which means I will be able to have space in the middle. Because you see, he's obviously choosing Mukiele and he can't really put pressure with either Bruno, De Bruyne, Haaland or Putellas. So this perfect. But the main thing is here, I want to send Rodri at the bottom right. You can't really see him here, but you see him on the minimap at the bottom right here. And I want to find this threatening pass in between his Putellas and his Lionel Messi here. Because if I find Kylian Mbappe, he needs to be really, really good with the switch. And if he's close to me, I'm able to play Rodri down and then you stay to space with Rodri, because his Rolfe is obviously his left back here. So I find Kylian Mbappe. I have so much space here because obviously he's a bit slow with switching, but this is also really, really hard to defend, by the way. We find that pass to our right forward, from our right CM to right forward. I automatically send Rodri on a run, you see here. I could have played it a bit earlier. I probably should have played him here with L1 triangle, and I played a bit too slow. Still works because Cruyff is making a great run in behind. I find Rodri, and from here you gotta realize, okay, he put his Bissek out of position, which means he basically only has Rio Ferdinand, I think it is, or if it's Köhler maybe, left to defend. So I found Haaland with a great pass, finding Kylian Mbappe, finding Putellas. Here again, I think this is good defending from him, pressing circle, but we get a penalty, and after that we are able to convert the penalty and take the lead by 2-0. But it's basically because I send my Theo at the start of the run, he reads it, I'm asking him a question, are you going to read the run of Theo or not? He is, so then I play through the midfield instead. The third tip, as I was talking about in the previous sequence, I'm going to send Putellas here on a run. And why? Basically because you will see what's happened. So I have my ball with Theo here, no real pass opening up here. I could find Bellingham in the middle, which I'm aiming for, or actually trying to find Haaland, then play it back to De Bruyne, and then trying to build up a proper attack. So the thing I do with Putellas, if you look at the top right corner with my controller now when I'm playing it, I'm doing L1X, which means he is running in behind. Here with Haaland, I know I can go forward, but then I don't really have any passing options. I can basically only try to play Putellas, and then, yeah, I basically only have that kind of option. I find it back to De Bruyne here, and with De Bruyne, he has the long ball pass, obviously, but yeah, I can choose to do that. But then with these kind of players that has long ball playstyle plus, it's very obvious that you want to find the player in behind. So I don't really rely on his long ball plus. Either I can find Bellingham or I can play it out to Rodri, but I decide to go for Bellingham in this case. And you know, I already sent Putellas, so we gotta think with the brain. Okay, Putellas is in behind. If you look at the bottom of the minimap there, you see that Putellas is basically in the same line as Mukiele. He decided this time now that he wants to put pressure on me in the midfield instead of actually trying to cover the run. So he is pretty close with me. I decide to go with the L1 triangle pass with Bellingham because obviously his passing stats are still very, very good. We are able to find Putellas in space, and from here we have so much space to work with. We can actually work it back from this kind of position, either to Haaland or to Cruyff. I decided to go with a ball roll cross here, which didn't really work out. But that's the third tip on how you use both your fullbacks, but also the wingers. Try to send multiple runs as you possibly can, but don't try to play L1X with every player, because once you do L1X with a player, obviously Putellas is running in behind. But if you do a L1X with another player, Putellas will stop her run. So just focus on sending one player and see, okay, is he reading it? Is he not reading it? If he reads it, you do something else. If he's not reading it, play it in behind. Then from this kind of position, try to work it back to the CM, then striker, or try to go byline and then find a cutback, basically. That's kind of what I would have done in this kind of sequence. And I didn't really play it out, but I was about to show you, as I said, I was going to find my CMs, trying to speed up the tempo from going from the wing, CM, then into striker, trying to find some quick passes, Cruyff, Bellingham, back to Cruyff, into Haaland, and we scored to make it 3-0. Basically, because we found that position down from the left-hand side by using this kind of tip to build up. Tip number 4 is basically the same thing as we talked about in every clip. It's all about L1X or aiming the L1, pressing L1 and aiming with the left stick towards a player you want to make a run. For example here, when I have the ball with Bellingham, if I aim my left stick and L1 towards Kylian Mbappe, he will make a run in behind. The thing I decide to do here is that I'm going to send Bellingham with the L1X run. As you see, L1X, he's pointing his arm forward, mode, which means he's running in behind. So in this kind of attack, I know, okay, Bellingham is going to make a threatening run in behind, which means that if I am able to reach my Haaland and Cruyff here pretty quick, Bellingham will make a very, very good run in behind. If he reads it, then I basically gain some space because he needs to cover back with the center back, or he doesn't read it and I can play Bellingham in behind. So the thing I do a quick play lock to Haaland. I understand that Cruyff is in good space here. We can find Cruyff very, very easily. And I see that Bellingham will most likely just run in a straight line in behind, because that's what these runs are for. They will most likely run in a straight line. So I find Cruyff. He's very, very late with the switching. And in this case, when Bellingham is full speed and he is just switching to his Köhler, Bellingham will beat Köhler for pace. So I find Bellingham in behind. Very, very good run. Green time finish, could have gone in, but that's another tip for you guys. Try to sometimes send your CM and then try to focus on the run that they are making in behind. As once again, if I'm sending Bellingham like that, I'm creating a question to the opponent. Are you going to step on Bellingham, or are you going to cover Bellingham, or are you going to step on my player, try to basically get the ball? So that's also, you know, putting him in an uncomfortable position and see what he is doing, and then he needs to decide first, and then we choose what we want to do after, basically. If we look at this kind of sequence, you already can recognize, you see Rodri is putting his hand forward, and that's basically because we already sent Rodri because we want to have that kind of run in behind, so we're asking him questions. So the thing, as I mentioned at the start of this video, is that I play both my fullbacks unbalanced, which means obviously it's very attacking, and the only thing towards that, as I mentioned as well, is that you can get counter attack very easily from people that decide to go very quick forward. So be very, very cautious when you try to do something fancy with your fullback, or when you try to get space, because if you lose it, you will get counter attacked very heavily. So the thing I do in my build up here then, I sent Rodri, and this is going to be a bit of a different kind of video with actually finding different combinations through the midfield and also through the wings. So I know for a fact I have my left back unbalanced. As if we look at the minimap, you see Theo Hernandez in plenty of space. I can also take a touch here. I have plenty of space. I see that he is actually selecting Bellingham very early because he wants to cover the run of Haaland, I suppose. So the thing he's doing here, as I'm recognizing, is obviously I sent Theo with the L1 X pass because I want him to make the run instead now of Rodri, because we see at the top of our screen, okay, Rodri, I can't even really, you know, send Rodri here because it's very, very hard to actually find him with the L1 trigger and also with the L1 pass, obviously, because then I need to switch wing. But I sent Theo Hernandez. You see, he's making that run in behind, which is perfect. I also see that he is putting, I think, second man press first of all with Ferdinand, and then switching to Ferdinand to be able to get closer to Haaland. So the thing I do, I play it back to my CM that I know has long ball playstyle plus, and with this pass with Kevin De Bruyne, I loaded up to 3.5, nearly 4 bars, because this is going to be a long pass, because I know Theo Hernandez will beat Bellingham for pace here, 100%. Okay, my Theo Hernandez is in space. It's a perfect aim pass from Kevin De Bruyne. From here, I can't even shoot. Probably I should have done Trivela there for spots, but you see how easy it is trying to find a few combinations from the left back to the left forward, back to the CM. If he pushes up with a lot of his players like he did there, just an easy L1 triangle in behind, causing me to get a good chance. And if I were to green time that far post, that's me making it 3-1. For the last video of this kind of tutorial, it's going to obviously be a perfect attack. Unfortunately, I don't really score this attack, but it's perfect how I'm able to send my players with both L1 triggering, obviously, but also with the L1 pass, making a player run after he or she passed it. So we start off from the goalkeeper. Now this is where I think a lot of people are struggling, because this is basically how you build up. So as I explained in the first minute of the video, I have both my fullbacks on balance. So you see here, I have the ball with Rodri, and I know for a fact that Rodri's passing is insane. And in general on this game, these switches with the full bar square button is really, really easy to do. So I will have my Theo high up. So the thing I do, I switch very, very early with Theo, and I try to gain this space in front of his Putellas. I try to do this play lock with Haaland to cause some kind of distraction for him to be able to switch. He reads it very good though, so he's not really like covering Haaland. You see he did slightly there. But the thing I do here, I take some really, really good space with Ferdinand. And as you see at the bottom of my screen, he's selecting Haaland because he's expecting me to find Rodri, who is at the bottom of the screen very high up, basically because I play him unbalanced. So the thing I do, okay, I see that he's reading the switch with Haaland. So perfect then. I can either play Putellas, who I have a very, very easy pass in between his De Bruyne and his Putellas here, or I can play Kevin De Bruyne, then find the ball down to Bellingham. So the thing I do, as he is pulling Haaland out of position here, that means basically that this space that Haaland should have covered, where Bellingham is opening up, because he is trying to read the early pass from the switch, basically. So I read that very, very early. I see that Bellingham is in acres of space, and you see that the AI now, when he actually haven't really selected Haaland, is trying to get back into position. And he also realized, okay, I'm screwed, because Bellingham has so much space to go forward, and then I can find either Haaland, Mbappe, or Cruyff. And we will play this out, and I will go back at it. Okay, so look at this now. We find Bellingham. We are able to save Johan Cruyff on a run. I send Haaland, I send Bellingham, and here I should have shot far post, then this is a perfect attack, but I should have shot far post, and this should be a very, very easy goal for me, even though I made the wrong decision with the final moment. But that's for another tutorial on how you finish on this game. So, as I said, we find Bellingham. I press L1 because I want Bellingham to be able to get the ball on the feet, but also in front of him, so we can take the touch forward. And this is very, very important. You see, at the top right, I take the touch forward with Bellingham, so he takes the ball forward, and I can actually attack the space. So, in this case, I have Cruyff, I have Mbappé, I maybe have Haaland, maybe the AI or Bruno will intercept the pass to Haaland, but the thing I do, I play a R1X pass to Cruyff, because these passes are really, really accurate on this game, so I play Cruyff. And in this case, I also have the options of, I'm sending Haaland, so he is like, okay, he's sending Haaland, he wants to go to Haaland. But I also see that Mbappé is making a great run, and this is going back. The R1X pass is really, really good in any kind of angles on this game, especially from the wing or downside of the pitch, which we will use now. So, the R1X from Cruyff into Kylian Mbappe's feet here is perfect, because we send obviously Haaland first, asking him a question. Is he going to read Haaland? He is kind of reading Haaland here with his AI, but in general he is, I think, trying to get closer to Cruyff or something, or he's missing the switch obviously, because it's really, really hard to switch. We find Mbappé, and as I said here, he's moving the keeper to the first post. If I shoot far post here, 99% sure it's a goal by green time. It maybe Renard could get an auto block or something from it, but in general, a very, very good attack. And that's basically how I use the L1, the L1X, and the R1X pass in build-up. So that's been it for this kind of tutorial. I just want to show you guys. So here are the tips. Tip number 1, use the L1 sending, you know, press L1 towards the player you want to run, and also aim the stick towards the player you want to run. So you press L1 and then aim the stick towards the player you want to run. Tip 2 is basically use the L1, hold in L1 and press X, which will make the player that you're passing the ball away with make us run straight forward in behind, which will cause a threat for the opponent. And then the last step for the video, tip 3, would be to use the R1X in these kind of scenarios where I showed you guys when you want to be a bit more direct. And then the last, tip 4, always take the ball forward with your players. And I actually found one more, tip 5, use either 2 or 1 of your fullbacks on balance. It will make your life way easier, and using my tactics will also help. The video is going to be here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe down below. I appreciate that a lot. Don't forget to leave a comment and like the video, and share it with your whole family, generation, grandma, grandpa, whatever, your dog, anything. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for the support recently. You guys are the greatest. See you guys in the next video. Take care, and as always, stay safe. Bye bye.